Welcome back. In this second installment of PowerSchool training videos, we're going to look at class descriptions and display options inside of Power Teacher Pro. So again, from the main page, we'll click into the Power Teacher Pro gradebook. And in the Power Teacher Pro gradebook, we can control several things that happen. One of the highly requested items that happens is when a teacher goes up and sees another teacher's gradebook and notices on the grading screen that they have pictures of students, but they don't have pictures of students. That's controlled by the icon size. In here, the icon sizes are set to small. By clicking on your initials in the top right corner and choosing an icon size which is large, you will then get student pictures on your grading scale. Again, you can change whatever size you like, but something tends to be as my age increases, the icon size increases exponentially. So let's talk about settings. So in settings, we have several different things we can look at. We can look at display. We're going to go over each one of these: class descriptions, comment bank, which we'll touch slightly, class grade scales, student grade scales, and traditional grade calculations. So let's look at display settings to begin with. So under display settings, I can choose how I'm going to sort my classes. I can choose by the period day, the section number, and also the custom name. We'll talk custom name in 1 second. Can I show traditional grade scales? Possibly you're in a building that doesn't want to show traditional grade scales because you're in a standards-based K2. If you don't want to show traditional in K2, then you take away the checkbox and you won't show those traditional grades. What if I am showing traditional grades? Maybe I don't want them to see the percentage. I only want them to see the number value. For example, in some of our lower grades, we have a grade scale 3-1. 3-1 should not have a percentage associated with it. In order to make that percentage go away, click on the box. We would take away the percentage, maybe even take away the points, and just simply allow the grade. Again, that can be set for anyone. Now, this is what we'll call a global level setting. It's going to count for all of your classes. It's not individualized. So once you choose it, it counts for everything in your grade book. Standard usage, again, lower grades use standards, and you may institute standards if you like. How would you like to show display of student names? Do you want last first? Would you like a plethora of different choices? How do you want your students sorted? Do you want to add newly enrolled students to the bottom so that you know that they're there? And do you want to hide pre-registered students? I traditionally leave both of these unchecked, but again, that's your call. Here's a new feature last year. And this new feature last year is you can tell Power Teacher Pro where to launch from. So when you notice when I come in, mine comes in directly to the score sheet because that's generally what I want to do. If I click the down list, I can choose to go to the assignments or any of these particular items I want to. The quick lookup traditional is kind of cool for high school applications in which you can find out what that student's doing across the board and where they might need to be at this particular time. Any changes I make, I have to make sure I institute the save button in the bottom right-hand corner. And I'll get my successful save there. Again, I'm going to go back to my display. Class description. If you notice in the top dropdown, all of mine are named in an honors eligible format. And maybe we don't like this format. Maybe this top class wants to be called something different for some reason. So let's go to display. Let's go to class description. Under class description, you'll notice there's a custom class name right here. And this custom class name, I'm going to name it what it should be named. There we go. We're going to call it Bob. We're going to hit save. And now you'll notice in my top drop box, my first class is called Bob. From there, I can change any of these that I want to. Now, something that's specific, though, that isn't going to help some of you, and you're going to really think this is going to save your life, but it's not. If I go back out to the main page and I go, look, notice first period is not called Bob. That's because these classes are linked directly to the office for attendance purposes, and the attendance folks in the office don't know what class Bob is, even though I do. So therefore, these are going to remain exactly what they are. So I am sorry for my, again, elementary teachers, probably PE, K, and art, and some of the musics, where you have 5,000 different classes here that are all seem to be named kind of the same thing. but where I can help you is I can help you change the name out here to whatever you like. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change the Bob setting because I don't think most of my first period students want to be named Bob. You never know though, right? Change that. You can also put, I'm going to save this. You can also put a description, including hyperlinks inside of the class description box. So let's say that I want to write a link to my website, a link to my Google Drive, a link to whatever I might. Anything that you can put in HTML, any grid work, any links, any pictures, anything you want to put, you can put into here, and that will show up on the parent portal side when the student logs in. So they will have application and ability to get to anything written inside of this class description box. Now that's not a global level, and that can be made individualized for every different class. Custom name and description is available for each and all of your classes. You could have them all be the same by cut, paste, copy, but they do not have to be. Comment bank. In the comment bank, it's something we use when we go to load comments for students, and you can import in here. We have some district comments available if you look at them. Under my comments, you can add any comment you like for future use, and you can add it repeatedly to different assignments and different final grades. However, though, we also have some of these here, and you can also mark favorites. Class grade scales, you can view class grade scales, but you cannot alter class grade scales. You can see the color indicators that go with them and the cutoff values for them. If you remember back to video number 1 where I referred to if you were in the wrong term, if you were in Y1 instead of Q1, and you were seeing that everybody had a 93% at an A, that's because an A cutoff value is 93%. Everybody would have that value. It's always the lower value given to the grade association because the percentages really don't matter. It's the letter grade that matters. Under student grade scales, we don't alter individual students' grade scales unless it's IEP driven, and that is all done at a district level, so there's no changes to be added here. And traditional grade calculations, if you'd like to see traditional grade calculations, in a later video when we come up, after I've done final grades and setting up those calculations, I'll show you how to change these from weighting, from total points, or vice versa. You'll notice that edit calculations has been taken away for the term Y1. It's taken away for Y1, S1, and S2. Those are Board of Education driven, and they are weighted, and they are driven out by the system. However, though, you can control how quarters and examinations play out in their weighting. And I'll give you several scenarios in another video later. When you come back into video number 3, we'll talk about getting started, adding some categories, and getting grading.